Practice set 5. Solve each area problem below. In problem number 5, the figure given is a circle. In the geometric world, the definition of a circle is a two-dimensional figure whose points are all the same distance from a particular point. That particular point we refer to as the center, and every one of these points along this continuous curve here are the same distance, forming our circle. To find the area, the second question of problem 5, we'll use the area of a circle formula, which is pi times the diameter squared divided by 4. We'll use the approximate value of 3.14 for pi. The diameter of a circle is a line segment whose endpoints are on the circle, and the line segment contains the center. In this figure, we have the value of 67. Order of operations, we will take care of exponents first. 67 to the power of 2 means 67 times 67, giving us a resulting value of 4,489. Next, we'll simplify the multiplication in the numerator, giving us a value of 14095.46. And last, we'll do the division, which gives us a value of 3,523.865. The instructions tell us to round to the nearest tenth. We look in the hundreds. 5 or greater is going to increase our tenths value by 1. So our final answer is 3,523.9. And as far as units, the only place that units were located was in the diameter. That diameter was squared. Centimeters times centimeters gives us centimeters squared. Pi and 4 aren't altering our units. So our final answer is square centimeters, and we can indicate that with the centimeter to the second power. In problem number 7, as far as naming that object, what we have is a four-sided figure with only one pair of parallel sides opposite one another, and that's called a trapezoid. In a trapezoid, we have special names for the sides that are parallel. We call those bases, and I'll refer to these as base 1 and base 2. The distance between the two bases is called the height, and I'll use h to represent that value. To find the area, we use the formula b1 plus b2, in other words the sum of the two bases, times the height all over 2. Essentially what this formula is doing, anytime you add up two things and divide by 2, you're averaging. And what we're doing is we're averaging these two sides that are opposite one another to an average length, and then timesing it by the height. Plugging in the values that are given, we have a 23 for one base, 18 for the other. The distance between the two is 7.5 all over 2. Order of operations, the parentheses would have the priority, so we'll add those two values, giving us 41. Next, we'll times that by the 7.5, which gives us 307.5. And last, we'll divide that by 2 to give us 153.75. Rounding this to the nearest tenth, 5 or greater, well, we have a 5, so our 7 tenths will turn into 8 tenths. So we have 153.8. As far as units, if we look at the formula, we would have been adding yards together here, which just gives us yards, times the height, which would have been in yards. Yards times yards gives us square yards. Problem number 9, they're asking us to identify this shape, and what we have is a four-sided figure where both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. We refer to this as a parallelogram. To find the area of a parallelogram, we take the base times the height, and the height is the distance between two parallel sides. Well, the only distance given here between two parallel sides is this value indicated. We'll call that the height, which means these are going to act as our base here. In this problem, we have additional information. We are not going to use the 8/10 of an inch on either side. That would only be necessary if we were interested in the perimeter of this figure. So to calculate this value, we'll take the base. Again, either one of these would have worked. 1.25 inches times it by the height, the distance between the parallel sides, which is 65/100ths of an inch. Only operation is multiplication. When you multiply, we end up with a 0.8125. Inches times inches is square inches. And in this problem also, rounding it to the nearest tenth, when we look at the hundredths position, 5 or greater is not the case, so we'll leave it as 8/10, and it is inches squared.